Hey guys, welcome back to my plant channel. So I got a rather special new iridescent begonia the other day. I did order a few and they've been arriving in dribs and drabs. So this one here is the Begonia Taconite. It is not quite how I imagined it. Maybe I didn't study it enough before, but it's actually even more beautiful than I was expecting it to be. I have taken some nice little close-up videos, so I will add that afterwards so you can really see what the plant looks like. But oh my gosh, I think it has to be my favorite iridescent begonia so far. When it arrived, it actually looked great. So it arrived yesterday, but unfortunately I had a job yesterday and I was out from really early in the morning till late, really late. And I just didn't want it to sit in the box for the whole day because then I wouldn't have been able to. So where I live, there's a concierge and it's closed on a Sunday. So if I hadn't have gotten it yesterday, it would have gone a further 2 days and, you know, before I could have collected it. So I really wanted to get it out of the box. So I just opened it up really quickly before I left. And when I got back really late last night, it had drooped. And I thought, oh no, I've literally killed this plant in 24 hours. So it had an additional, even bigger leaf on it than this, but it was quite tatty. So it did have quite, you know, some browning on it, a few marks when it arrived, but it was even bigger than this leaf. But the whole thing kind of flopped. And I think it was because it got quite dry. But then I watered it today and it's all perked back up again really quickly. So that's good news. I didn't kill it within 24 hours. And it's a really beautiful example because it's even got a little flower, I believe, coming here. And this plant is just, you won't be able to see it until I show you the close-up, but it is so pretty. It's got little tiny spikes and all the leaves have got a tiny white dots. It looks like the galaxy. And then you've got this iridescent blue. You can't really see it too much because you can see straight through on this camera to the red, but you'll see it more on my other videos. And then on the back, it's this really striking red. But I do love it. Really love it. I just now have to hope that I can keep all these iridescent begonias alive. Like I said, I did take a prop of one of the leaves because when it all looked really sad, and that leaf was a bit damaged anyway, I thought I'm going to actually cut this off and see if I can get it going. And I actually might do the same with this leaf as well after a bit, and just leave it with these kind of slightly smaller leaves to then recover. I think I said in my other video, with begonias, I really like to try and get a propagation as soon as possible so that I have backup because they are quite, you know, quite finicky plants. As I said in my last video, I have really been realizing that it's actually a lot better to not care about them as much. I've noticed this with all my house plants. Just let me turn my phone off. That sometimes I think being too fussy with them and putting too much attention on them isn't great. Most of my plants that are doing really well, even the rarer ones, are the ones that I don't really fuss around with. I just give them a bit of water, let them dry out, and then when they're really dry, I give them water again. And I do have a couple of humidifiers going and I try to spray generally. And that seems to work for nearly all my plants. The only ones that I really seem to have struggled with are the ones that I've tried to make sure they're damp all the time, and they've just ended up, even the begonias. So I know people say they like to be damp, but in my experience, that's just not true. And I don't know if it's to do with where I live in the UK, but I find that they do still do better for me personally when they dry out between waterings, and then I just water them kind of like how I treat my philodendrons. And then I just have a couple of humidifiers going on and I spray as often as possible. Like even this one, yes, it got dry yesterday while I was out, but a water and it's all perked back up again and it looks exactly like when it came. Whereas I've noticed that when you overwater them, nothing makes them go downhill faster. Because I did have a couple of little leaf cuttings that had quite a lot of new growth on them, and I stupidly thought, you know what, I'm actually going to put you in a little grow bag, a little humidifying grow bag, and let you get good humidity. And then within 24 hours they had just rotted and pretty much died. which I'm really sad about. And yeah, I'm honestly just finding with begonias, whatever care I might read about online, there's nothing like your own lived experience with these plants. And I think it probably depends a little bit as well on where you live. The UK, believe it or not, is quite a humid country. People might not realise that, but our summers are quite humid. And perhaps that's why they don't need quite as much water as in other places. I don't know, it's just a guess. But I have, from my own particular lived experience, found it to be much easier to not overwater these guys than to have them damp all the time. They just seem to rot in for me. Whereas when I just allow them to kind of dry out and then water them, they do quite well. And all my other iridescent begonias are doing very, very well. I've got the Pavonina, and that's doing really, really well. I've got 2 on the go at the moment, and that's doing absolutely fine. And none of these plants are in terrariums. They are just growing in my place. And yeah, I mean, I only had 1 humidifier before. I've just bought a second one. So hopefully they should get even happier. But that's just my experience. So yeah, do enjoy some close-up videos of this beautiful plant, because really, honestly, the leaves are just stunning. The leaf stem as well has lots of hairs on it, and I'm really interested to see how the flowers are going to come out on these. I hope that one blooms, and yeah, maybe I will let you know when I actually get some flowers. What I find really strange, just talking about flowers, is I've got this one behind me, the Carolina, the Lucerne Carolina, and this one used to flower for me non-stop, the same for with my Tomea. And I've noticed the last couple of years, now this one did struggle, it got some powdery mildew and I had to treat it, and it's now really healthy. So maybe it will flower, but I don't know why the last 2 years they haven't flowered like they did before. I will just say that this one arrived to me with a little bit of that same kind of problem, because I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but I do notice a few spots on the leaves, and that was exactly what happened to mine when they got kind of fungus, mildew. And then over time it just got worse and worse and worse. So I might even treat this one just as a precaution, because I do notice a few spots on this leaf. It's nothing major, but I obviously don't want it to spread, because I've got a lot of houseplants and I cannot allow them all to go downhill. So anyway, yeah, here is the Begonia Taconite. Do enjoy the video of all the close-up features so you can see if it's a plant that you would like to add to your collection, and I will speak soon. Bye bye.